Let's. There you go. We're live and we're. Wait, can we?
We're live and ready to jive.
There you go. Right.
I did it.
Cheers.
Tink.
Ching. It's the Ray and Bay show, the Wild Wild West show. We're live. We're back, and we got some stuff to talk about. We got some interesting stories happening. Some major music stories happening.
I'm
One
excited.
happened last week. A huge fiasco in the music business that I can't wait. As soon as it happened, I'm like, oh shit, I got to talk to Ray about this. I can't wait to hear his spin
Okay.
on it. And then a huge announcement happened yesterday. So again, big major happening in the heavy metal community was announced, and new music was dropped out of the blue. Nobody was expecting it, so we're going to talk about that. But more importantly, we're going to talk about Ray first and Spread Eagle as they kicked off the Subway to the Stars tour this past weekend in good old Newark, Delaware at the halftime. So,
Love
how
it.
you feeling after kicking it off?
I'm exhausted, man. It's only show one, but I'm exhausted. We went to Delaware. Was awesome. The weather was beautiful. Because I'm down here in Florida. So when I go up, we were like in Delaware. It's very what's the word I'm looking for? It's very Norman Rockwell. You know,
Okay.
those beautiful houses. Where we were crashing, it was this beautiful house, man. It was like when I was little, we had this show called Eight Is Enough.
Yeah, of course.
Crazy. It was like one of those neighbors, like the Brady Bunch. Eight is enough. Real like Anglo, beautiful neighborhood. And Rob was like, we were driving, and it's like Joe Biden lives over there. I'm like, oh, it's that
Hmm.
kind of nice. You know what I mean? It was beautiful, and we grind it every day, like two sets a day. Uh, just grinded it out. And it was just by the time we got done rehearsing, it was like about 1 in the morning every night, 1:30, and
Wow.
uh, and then the show was cool. We added songs to the set, so that's what that was about. We rehearsed a lot, so that when we start doing, when we go to Denver and all these other places, we just don't have to rehearse anymore. We just use a sound check for a song here and there.
Nice.
But the show is great. The set feels good. It was actually rather long. Probably going to pull 2 or 3 songs and make it really. It's like anything else. You put as much as you can into it, and then you start chiseling away
Yeah.
until it's the way you want it. So but it's great. It was fun. Being with the guys is always a good time. It was great.
So how about that part of it? Like, um, does it bring you back to like the old days, the younger days when, you know,
There's
four
a
guys like trying to get that deal and make things happen?
Yeah, there's just more of like there's an older statesman vibe to it now. It's like before it was like when we were in a room, it was a lot of egos
Mm.
massaging, or rubbing up against each other. And now, like I'm looking at Rick, and I'm in the room with this. We're having dinner every night. It's myself, Ricky, Rob, Jami. It's great. It was awesome. Um, you still miss your family life, but it's
Sure.
great to hang out with the guys and bond that way. It's really cool. And and me and Rick are really tight. So it's like we like to cook together and stuff like that. Which sounds so funny now. It's like back in the day, it was just all about drinking together and smoking
Right.
together and drugging together. Now it's like, oh man, let's make some awesome pasta. That's really like refined shit. But it's
That's
fun. It doesn't get better than like and we talk about this all the time. I love those guys because
yeah.
there's a genuine respect in the air, and
Hmm.
it's like being with like, and all bands say with my brothers, man, my brothers. But it's just like a real family. It's nice,
That's cool.
and plus it's funny. It's funny to set Rick off once in a while. Sometimes Rick just gets it's crazy, man. It's
so
fun.
so so you guys stayed in Delaware the whole time then?
We did. We stayed at actually Rob's family let us have this house. I think it's his sister's house. Beautiful place, man. I stopped counting how many rooms there was, but
Wow.
it was nice to have that kind of thing. And then she told Rob, he's like, "Yo, eat whatever you want. Whatever's in the fridge is ours." So you imagine you walk into a house it's full of food, and
Hmm.
we just raid it like little rats. You know, got into everything, man. We found everything. Found a big old block of. Anyway, it's great.
I'll tell you what. I used to live before I moved to Nashville. I lived right over the border, the PA border from Delaware, and I used to work in Delaware a couple days a week. So and I used to drive all like the back roads down through Delaware, and where Biden used to live and everything. And it truly is a beautiful, beautiful area
Yeah.
down there.
Have you ever been to the Delaware Water Gap?
Mm-hmm.
So, your families can get on canoes and shit, right? So, remember, it was me and my kid, me and Brandon, and an ex of mine. We all went to the Delaware Water Gap. And the guy, as you get in the canoe, he says, you don't want to make sure you go through the middle, because the bridge thingy, whatever, and you take the canoe through the middle. And if you go, and it gets all rapidy and it gets like violent, and he's like, make sure you go through the middle. Don't go to the left or to the right. So, of course, I'm spacing out, and I got Brandon in the middle and going through there, I'm like, and every 5 minutes, like, put your oar in there. Come on, you know what you're doing, And of course, we hit the rapid thing, and the canoe's starting to pick up a little bit. And of course, I go to the left. I couldn't control. I don't know what the fuck I was doing. And if we take this awesome canoe, we slam it against the bridge pole thingy, And I'm lucky we didn't turn over, man. We didn't turn over. We didn't go overboard, with the canoe. But it was, man, it was a time, man. But it was beautiful. I really enjoyed that kind of stuff. And as long as I'm not trying to kill us, it was great. But I had a good time. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. You're right.
So, all right. So this weekend now, you guys are out in Denver at Herman's Hideaway. Now, when the hell's the last time you guys have been to Denver?
Not since like '92 or something. And
Wow.
I was actually, as a teen, I think when I was 15, I lived with my father out in Denver, Colorado. Well, it's a place it's a suburb outside called Aurora.
Okay.
Aurora. It's Aurora is very famous for people shooting up movie theaters, and it's it's next to Springs, Colorado Springs, so Columbine and all that is around there. But it was beautiful when I was there, man. I used to love that. I used to I always felt everybody in Colorado was very active and healthy. You see people running everywhere and carrying toting ski gear, but it seems like a really healthy place to live. Of course now it's it's like the Amsterdam.
Yeah.
So it's I'm sure it's be cool. I'm looking forward to going there. I hear it's cold.
But it's also like a big like music and rock city now, or state.
Yeah, man. I mean, Denver's got it going on. It's like same thing like with Texas. Denver has that Texas thing. Like Texas is a great rock and roll state.
Right.
San Antonio, Houston, Dallas, and all the other pockets. But it's got that cool thing. Denver's an original. You know what I mean? It's got a different vibe to it. John Denver. I used to love it, man. When I was in high school there, it was different. We would go into the mountains and they would do the kegger parties in the mountains. So you're driving, you pull into this huge area, and everybody from school is there. It's like out of a movie or something. I remember stuff like that. And good times, man. Good times. You expect Spicoli to come walking out, It's good, brother.
That's hysterical.
But I'm excited. It's just even flying there. It's mile high. Air is thin. Yeah,
it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a good one.
I used to love skiing. You ever skied before?
No.
Man, it was great. I probably couldn't do it now. It takes your legs out. If you're like a person that likes to do leg work or squats and stuff, you got to do that to go skiing. I think it's hard.
Yeah. See, I would. I'd be
hard.
no good on skis.
If you climb up like a steep stairwell, it's like doing that for like a mile.
Wow.
Yeah, it hurts. But it's fun.
One thing I did do before the pandemic happened that I hadn't done in probably 30 years was roller skate.
I'm a fan of. I rollerblade a lot. So I was, as a kid, I roller skated everywhere.
Yeah, me too.
I love roller skating. It's such a they relate it now to like disco, but it was just fun to be on skates when you were a kid, man. We all did. And when I was real little, we had these little metal. Remember the skates?
Yeah.
Back onto your tennis shoes.
Yep.
And they made all that noise, man. Like rapid going down the street. When I was in Brooklyn as a kid, we would just fly down the block on that, man.
That's funny. That is funny. Cool. So, all right. Everybody, check out Spread Eagle. They're coming to a town near you. The tour is officially kicked off next weekend in Colorado, and then they're going to be hitting the New York area at Arlene's Grocery, and then more.
That's
It's
going
gonna
to
be
be
big
a
stuff.
time. Yeah.
That's a Tommy London show over there from Sirius XM.
Yeah, he does this great rock night in the middle of the week, and it's affordable. So it's like a $5 rock night or something like that. But you know, we've talked about Arlene's. It's just the place to be, man. It's great. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it.
See, now this is why, like me and you have such a vibe and such a weird bond because you say things without even knowing what's going on, and it's the perfect segue to the next story.
Okay.
All right.
Bring it on.
All right. So I don't know if you heard about this one, but last week people just lost their shit. They went nuts because Taylor Swift announced her tour. Tickets went on sale, and good old Live Nation Ticketmaster was handling the tickets and everything.
Oh, the ticket
And
Gestapo.
the ticket Gestapo, exactly. That's why this episode is called Obey Your Master, Ticketmaster.
Okay. Okay.
So, miraculously, as tickets are on sale, Ticketmaster crashes. And
From Taylor Swift sales?
from Taylor Swift sales, and everybody is told they're in the queue waiting, and they're waiting for hours and hours, and then and then when they bring the site back up, everything is sold out.
That's a lot of angry girls.
And then
No!
the ticket prices. Okay, you ready for this? Are going. Now I looked up in Nashville. She's doing 3 nights in Nashville at Nissan Stadium, the football stadium.
Wow.
3 freaking nights. The cheapest seats, $502. Cheapest seats. I want you just to attempt to guess how much the highest price ticket is.
Okay, so if the cheapest seat's 500, okay, so you start working your way down the levels,
Mm-hmm.
probably to the floor, 6, 7. So on the floor, it's got to be a grand something, maybe like 1,500 more.
Ray, when I tell you this price, you might fall out of your chair.
Go ahead.
$27,000.
Get the fuck out of here. Really, man? It goes to show you. We've had this conversation about what's relevant,
Uh-huh.
what's really going on in the world, and what's in the back burner. And Taylor Swift is the biggest pop star in the universe.
Am I missing something?
It has to do with like how she came in, like when she came into MTV, all the little girls that loved her stayed with her. All the little boys that loved her stayed with her. All the
Right.
people outside of being boys and girls stayed with her. She
Right.
has the girls, the boys, the LGBT, ZY, XYZ community. She has it's that I don't know. I do know that her production value is really, really high, and her shows, a lot go into her shows. She does the cool thing where she gives the LED bracelets to everyone, right?
Okay.
And when they're in the audience, it's programmed so the light show works on what's on your LED on your bracelet. So when they're holding their
Really?
hands up in the air, you see her shows, they're all lit up. Everybody's got these bracelets on and all like that. There's a lot more to the Taylor Swift. It's not just like Taylor Swift, the pop star. It's a huge production show she takes
Wow.
around. A la, a la Mike. It's the Michael Jackson ism of,
Okay.
she sort of fills that gap for the little kids, I guess, But Taylor Swift it's a huge show. It's a huge show. And kids, they love her, man. They love her. And I tell you, that's the real world. That's the big
Right.
money. Everybody else is kind of on the back, except Metallica, of course. But it goes to show you where the market's at, where the kids are at.
Yeah.
They stay
Well,
with her, man.
it's the thing about her too, like, and I'm not going to say I'm a Taylor Swift fan by any means, but like the songs I've heard, I mean, they're good songs. They're great pop songs, very catchy. There's no denying that. But I'm just like, when I was here, like as this was going on and erupting, I'm seeing people on Facebook, friends of mine that were trying to get tickets, just losing their shit, going bananas about the situation. And as it was escalating, then it became a news story. And so I had to sit down last night and like really start reading these articles to figure out what the hell is going on, which makes me like the thing that really like confuses and baffles me. And we're almost the same age, so and we were just talking about roller skates and stuff like that on the same level. So back in our younger days, when we would go to a concert, we would pay $12.50 or $14.50 or whatever it
Right.
was, and there would be scalpers outside on the down low trying to sell tickets. And I mean, I know I saw, and I'm pretty sure you probably seen scalpers getting arrested and chased by police as you're going to concerts.
Yeah.
So how now is this company like the one I looked up that had tickets, Vivid Seats? I mean, it is scalpy tickets now legal? Did I miss a memo somewhere?
Just how everybody has how everybody has easy access to like I guess I don't know. We're talking about commerce, man. So it's like you would think you can't just police Live Nation. Isn't that they're big, but the things are gonna fall through the cracks with them.
Right.
I don't know, man. I mean, it's that kind of world where I've always been that kind of guy. Where it's like, well, it's sold out, but now we can go. There's I'm sure there'll be scalpers out front.
Right.
They're part of it. Whether it's rock and roll or whatever, a concert, whether it's sports, scalpers are a part of it. I don't know what they take into it, but legally, I don't know what they can do to stop that.
Right.
People are gonna do whatever they can do to make money. It's a big hustle. Everybody's hurting. So what better thing than Taylor Swift to come along and provide a service where people can use all this underground black market of tickets and fuck with the big boy, Live Nation, or you know what I mean?
Right. Like
they're gonna stick it to them, but I don't know, man.
Now, me with my conspiracy theories of things like that, I think to myself, and I used to think this even back in the day. Did you ever, like, when you were younger, go out and sleep out overnight for tickets to get in line?
I only did that once with Star Wars, but never a rock concert.
Really?
Because remember, I come from I was snobbery about it. I was in a band when I was 17, 16. So I was like, at that age, I'm not going to sleep anywhere. I'm in a band. You know what I mean? But I never slept out to get tickets. But I have lots of friends that have done that. I understand it.
Yeah.
It's like I think it's. I slept out. I slept to see Return of the Jedi. That's what I said. Yeah, we camped out for that, but I never did it for a rock concert. It's weird because you'd think I would have, but
right.
I camped out after rock concerts where I couldn't find anything. I couldn't find my car. So I've camped out. But yeah, man, when people fan stuff, it's like a restaurant. Restaurant opens up and there's a line around the block. Why would you stand in that fucking line? You know what I mean? But if you love it, like, well, wait a minute. No, Kiss. No, we went to a music store to get tickets. I was gonna say I did it for Kiss, but I didn't. I'm sure, as a kid, if I didn't score a ticket for Kiss through the ticket box of whatever record store I went to, I would have slept outside for Kiss when I was little. My mom wouldn't have dug it, but I would have done it anyway. I've never done that, but everybody has their own way of appreciating things, and some people camp out for it, man. But I never did. I'm sure you've done it, right?
I did it. So I did it a couple times. I did it at least twice. And the first time I did it, believe it or not, was from Madonna. Madonna's first tour, her Like a Virgin tour.
Wow.
So I did it for that. And
we love Madonna. You know that we love Madonna on this
shit. At that time, especially, I was so in love with her. And the other one was for it was Cinderella. Cinderella was doing their first arena tour. They were opening up for David Lee
sure.
Roth,
Oh,
and they were from my neighborhood, so it was like I was obsessed with Cinderella, so I was like I'm going to see Cinderella, and I got like up close, but it always like would baffle me, like you're sleeping out and you're pretty close, and I would sleep out like at the Spectrum, like at the arena, and when you get up to the window and you get your tickets, and then they're showing you like all this stuff is sold out. I'm like, how could it be? Like, how are all the good seats gone? I'm 10th in line. It just didn't make sense to me. I'm like, something's wrong here,
right.
and somebody's got an in and getting all these tickets because the scalpers got all the tickets.
And there is an in. So somebody to get their hands on that many tickets, someone has
Yes,
to bank it. It's like you take these, and I get the kickback on it.
exactly. So
It's like when
that's exactly where I was going with it. So you can't tell me Ticketmaster's not doing that now.
I'm sure since they're such an evil operation, I'm sure they're doing whatever they can and some underhanded shit to make more money. You know, it's Ticketmaster. You saw what Pearl Jam tried to give him a 1-2 punch.
Right.
And even they got beat up pretty good. But they survived that shit. So Ticketmaster's the great. I don't know how it happened. It's this great monopoly just took over everything. They
Right.
started buying venues. Live Nation Presents, sponsored through Live Nation.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get me wrong. I'd like to be on a Live Nation show. Yeah, it is weird, but I mean, people are hurting, man, and they're charging all this money. So how are kids? I can see it now. It's like when McDonald's does something, and they put out something because they called it. When I read Fast Food Nation, they make products. This is where kids want something so bad, they
Mm-hmm.
nag their parents for it so much that
Sure.
the parents have to get it for them, and
Right.
companies think about that. And there's a fact like, what's the nag factor for this product?
Right.
How can we make kids get money to us, going into the parents' pocket, saying, "Mom and Dad, I got to have this." I bet there's a lot of that going on. But Taylor
Yeah.
Swift is you see for yourself. Let's admit it. We love Madonna, so Madonna's been recycled,
Mm-hmm.
right? We had "Hit Me, Baby, One More Time."
Britney Spears.
We have Britney. We
I
got
knew you were going to
Christina.
say that.
The remodeling of it. So now what's packaged right now is Taylor Swift. She is
Mm-hmm.
the one making the money. She's out there with the fashion. She's got fashion, music.
Mm-hmm.
She's making huge production. She's probably filming it, making a big movie to come out. For the kids to pay for that too.
Right.
She releases her music on YouTube live to her fans. She
Mm.
really, whether she's genuine or not, I don't know her, obviously,
Right.
but she
Right.
touches base with her fans, and there's a connection with them. She constantly services their need for trending and gossip and whatever they need. She's on top of that. Whoever works for her is on top of that. So it's pretty interesting that Taylor Swift is in such high demand and demanding such high prices. I think it's wrong. She should, for her fans, make it so they don't get it.
Well, she is upset, and she wants to know how this happened,
Right.
because she
Because
she
the
was.
machine that works around her made it
Mhm.
happen.
Yeah.
And hey Taylor, look over there.
Right.
So it's like the artist in the end always bears the brunt of it. Like, why do you know this was happening?
Right.
I don't know, man. Maybe she's too busy hanging out on Nantucket on the yacht chilling. But think about how big that is. To break like that. To break the internet, the ticket process. Live Nation is on their knees to Taylor Swift. That shows you how big and powerful she is. So
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Good for you, Taylor Swift.
I'll tell you what though. As the whole thing was going on, like that day or two, everything was unfolding. A friend of mine from the Philadelphia area, he was actually a promoter, club promoter, and he was like sending me the news articles, texting me the news articles, and I said to him, I said, you know what, like, I think I'm honestly at the point in my life, like, I'm okay with never going to a Ticketmaster or Live Nation production ever again. Like, I'm happy just going to see the bands I truly love in a club and support them that way. I don't need to go sit in an arena with getting raped by these ticket prices anymore.
And it's weird. There's a venue down, all the Hard Rocks. Let's talk about the Hard Rocks. There's a lot of those popping up all over the place.
Yeah.
Hard Rock somehow got into, now the Hard Rock, they use that name's been diluted down too. I think me and Susie were looking for tickets for, I don't know who the hell played there. Whatever. The tickets were I just thought it was too much for I didn't want to do it on principle. Like, I'm not going to pay that shit to go see that band. I saw them when I was a kid. I wouldn't do it, but I don't know how bands can. Someone's got to be on point. We need you two to come back around and have Bono deal with this shit. Bono will fix everything.
Where is U2 and Bono?
Here's the thing. I love Audible now. I love some books when I crash. I just got the Bono book, 40 Songs it's called.
Okay.
And not only is he the greatest, to me, one of the greatest frontmen, showmen, lyricists, melody makers on the planet, he's just his sense of his rock and roll IQ, his self-awareness is so acute. It's great. But Bono apparently has some sort of health issue.
Oh,
and,
okay.
The book opens up. I don't know. I'm still reading it, but the book opens up where I guess something happened with this. He had a procedure done for a heart arrhythmia or something.
Okay.
Because you would think with COVID, politics, I was like, "Where's Bono?"
Yeah, exactly.
Why isn't he up front and center? I'm, just like Rage Against the Machine. Where's Rage Against the Machine? Why aren't they fucking? But now they're touring, so now they can make their piece heard, But
right,
Bono's like, the ambassador to all things goodwill and all things rock and roll. A band that started off as a kind of new wave-ish kind of band.
Yeah.
They had no idea what they were creating. The alchemy of what they were creating was larger than anything, beyond rock and roll. So they're beyond. Bono is I'm rambling, but I'm a huge Bono fan. The book is great. If you guys haven't read it, read the Bono book. It's fucking awesome. Well, I didn't read it. I'm listening to it. I cheated.
But it's, you know what? I'll tell you what. I used to do that. Audible is amazing. I haven't subscribed to it in a while, but I used to, and I used to love it.
We could do a whole episode on this Bono book. It's great. Just from everything. I often wondered. I know I'm ADDing, but I often wonder what a band like that went through. Guys that were in school years together, that stayed together. They went to church. How they just, and the girlfriends all stayed together. They created this family, and what they did a show when they actually played. They went to London when they were really young, and they thought they had really bombed in London, but the press said great things about them. So when they went back to Ireland, they used that press to make themselves bigger than they were. So they booked the biggest venue they could find, and they put out the press that we were this great hit in London, and they really weren't at the time. But it's great how people they blew up after that, locally. And you've got to have your base. Taylor Swift has her MTV base.
Yeah.
She came out as a kid. I never understood it because I thought first she was country, but that's
what I thought. Yeah.
But that's how it works. You come out and you create this star, man. And she writes her own stuff too now. So,
I heard a cool thing about her this morning on the radio. They were talking. I guess the new Rolling Stone magazine did an article the top 50 things that had changed, or top 50 stories that changed the music business or something. And they were saying about her, she used to be on, I guess, Big Machine Records here in Nashville, and she had a falling out with the owner of the company, and he was holding her hostage and wouldn't release the music to her. And she was like, "All right, well, you know what? Fuck you. I know a way around this." Yeah. She went and re-recorded all of her music and released it herself.
He's probably somewhere right now going, saying, you want supersize? You want to supersize your fries with that?
Yeah,
that's what he's
yeah.
The guy that passed on Queen.
And they were saying, all like radio stations and everybody also all the old original recordings. Nobody touches or plays them. They all use all the new stuff now.
Wow,
They're
that's
like
amazing.
somehow Taylor got everybody just to go with all the new stuff, and she just moved on.
And
So yeah,
she has huge influence over her fans. It's a
yeah,
really tight family. And if I will give it up. I went to a Taylor Swift show. I think it was the one in the city some years
okay,
back. I forget what tour it was. I got a freebie to go in, but it was cool to watch the production, man. Like it blew my mind. I was like, I like pop music.
yeah,
You know, if it's good pop music, it's because it's like candy. It's like it does that thing where like when you eat a piece of candy, you're like your brain just goes, oh, that's yummy. You know, then you're like feel like shit that you ate it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
oh, I shouldn't have done that. You know, that's Taylor Swift. But think about it, man. Her value as an artist, man. She's getting older. Her audience is getting older. And she's one of those artists that can maybe do a jazz record down the line. You know, whatever her audience wants her to do. You know, it's just
yeah.
that's a gift, man.
It's a gift.
But going back to Bono real quick, I would have loved to see Bono, you know, but apparently it might have been a health thing. That's what I think.
Huh. That makes sense. Yeah, I mean, you brought up a good point though. During all of, the election stuff and COVID, he's been radio silent. That's a good point.
He's that guy. I mean, he's that guy that you want to hear from. Like, you know, he's smart, he's charitable. What I like about him is he doesn't think he's smart. He doesn't think, he's not like, but he's also has a sense of self-awareness. You know, it's cool.
Right.
There's so many great quotes in this book, man. I'll write them down for next show. But where are you, Bono? You should be around, but you're Bono. You're allowed to chill.
There you go. Okay, so the funny thing is, you already mentioned, and I said to you before we went live, I only have a few stories. I have 3 more stories, and you mentioned 2 tidbits, or one major thing and a tidbit from another story.
What an
already.
intuitive son of a bitch I am.
I'm telling you.
Woo-hoo!
So the next big story happened yesterday. Nobody was expecting this. Nobody knew it was happening. It was kept under wraps, and the band couldn't believe that nothing leaked out about it for a year and a half while this was all being planned.
Okay.
Metallica is back. New music. They dropped their new single and video yesterday, and they announced a 2-year world tour.
Oh, I saw a blip of that.
Yes.
Go ahead.
So what they're doing, they're calling it, the tour is No Repeat Weekend. They're playing stadiums in the round. You got 2 nights of no repeats. Your opening night, you have 2 opening bands. One is people we've talked about, Wolfie Van Halen with Mammoth.
Right. Mammoth, yeah.
Pantera.
Mm-hmm.
And then Metallica. And then night 2, you have Five Finger Death Punch and Ice Nine Kills.
Right. And isn't Greta Van Fleet somewhere in there too?
They're doing a couple fill-in dates for somebody, yeah.
See what I mean,
so then Metallica is playing no repeat songs on both nights. 2 fresh new sets each night.
See, man, that's the changing of the guard, right? Motley Crue did their thing with Poison, Def Leppard, you know, for the older crowd, you know, for us. And then you have to, what's relevant? Metallica's still very relevant. They are the, I'm sure to the kids, they're like fucking Zeppelin was to us in Sabbath.
Yeah.
You know? So Metallica's probably still the biggest rock. It's rock. You know? Yeah. The biggest rock band on the planet. Next to U2. But I mean, I would go see that. That's Pantera. Fucking Pantera. What a great fucking thing, man. That's and it's when you also think of like Metallica and Pantera, for me, you're not getting like these a band that has a singer front, you know, hitting melodic notes.
Yeah.
It's like just this strong
anger,
Anger.
power,
But it's
powerful.
power, you know,
Yeah,
and people need it. So of
yeah.
course, it's great that they would do that. I think people need that. That makes sense. You
Hmm.
know, why not Metallica? Why not Pantera? Well, you know, and Five Finger Death Punch, they came out. I'm saying it's like it's funny they do that because you have. I think Five Finger Death Punch reminds me a lot of like the Pantera vibe. Like they go for that early sound of Five Finger was like the singer has this kind of like fill ensemble kind of delivery on the early
Yeah.
stuff, you know, right? So yeah, man. Who could you put in that mix? What would be a band you would add to that
Ooh.
if it was you? Tricky stuff, right? I know it is for me. I'll tell you straight up. There's two bands for me. One is Deftones for me.
See, now
But
I'm not a Deftones fan.
come on, show's over. All right, so
No,
we'll get to that another time.
I
Deftones.
will actually a band that I listen to more than Metallica is Anthrax.
Yeah, that would do it too. That fits that kind of bill, man.
Hmm.
That would fit that kind of bill. You know, Armored Saint, they're out anyway, right? So it just sounds, yeah, man, that makes sense. What a great lineup that is. I would go
Yeah.
see that if I could afford it. How much tickets are for that?
Well, funny you should say that, Ray. So ticket prices, I saw some people posting prices. Prices are starting at about $175 up
Can't win.
to $1,900.
Okay. As compared to Taylor Swift's fucking 25 grand to
But
sit up front and smell a
these
crotch.
are Ticketmaster prices. This is not, the tour sold out and you're going to Vivid Seats. This
Right.
is straight up Ticketmaster prices.
It's so weird that it just happened like that. I mean, we're paying the cost of the show is all on it's on the people, man. It's crazy. They're just raping the people. It's just too much fucking money. I'm sorry, man.
It
$100
is.
to go see anybody is too much fucking money. I don't know how
Thank
they
you.
can. Yeah, it's great. So it's a big tour. It's a big deal. Rock and roll shouldn't be an expensive thing. You know, it shouldn't cost. It pisses me off that it's that much money. And just think of the extra money they're gonna make on top of with the merch. They're gonna fucking make millions.
Okay. Do you know? I just read this morning. As a matter of fact, do you know? There was a band out of New York in the mid '80s. I was a huge fan of glam band in the style of like the New York Dolls. They were called Sweet Pain. It was actually Kelly Nichols from LA Guns was the bass player
Really, Sweet Pain.
before he was in LA Guns.
I never heard of that.
Okay, well the singer Corky Gunn, he ended up becoming like the tour manager for LA Guns, and he's on Instagram and he's constantly every day posting like old pictures from the '80s, and he posted pictures this morning or last night from when LA Guns was on tour with AC/DC, and he was talking about back then. This was probably like 86, 87, whatever it was, when AC/DC or when LA Guns opened for AC/DC on the arena tour. Um, he said he would have to go in and collect the money for the merch every night, and he said you would go into a room, and he said it was just a room and it was just mountains and mountains of cash. He said then AC/DC was selling $250,000 a night in merchandise alone.
All from having just a cool logo, man. Just a cool
Isn't that
little
amazing?
something that identifies, you know, like ACDC is just a cool thing. You know, it can mean something else, or it can mean ACDC the band. You know what I mean? And
Right, right.
it's strictly what a brand like. You know, we get into that. Like our talk this weekend was about, you know, what kind of merch are we gonna
Mm-hmm.
pull up? You know, and if you're, it's all about the logo, man. If your logo's cool, You know, it'd be a cool tattoo.
Right.
You know, it's all amazing the thought that goes into a logo. You know, some people don't really give it much thought, and they're the ones that suffer for it. But if you got a cool logo, you'll make some fucking money on merch.
Right.
Yeah, man. Metallic's got the cool logo. They're gonna make a lot of money. Wow. Yeah, it's fun. I don't know if you're gonna talk about that or not. I saw it. I just saw that yesterday. I was like,
Yeah.
Dave's gonna talk about this.
So just before actually, all right, this is like a double story to lead into a thing, but just before we went live, I saw John Corabi. Do you know John at all?
Singer John? I've never met him. Well, no, I have met. I do know John. I met him once
Okay.
or twice in my day. Yes.
Okay, so John just recently did a new interview, and he was asked what his thoughts were about Mick Mars retiring.
Okay. What did he say?
He says he thinks it's bullshit. He thinks Mick was fired.
Oh.
He said, "You have not heard a peep from Mick. He's not released any official statement or said anything. All you got was the statement from Motley and their management." And he said from back when he was in Motley, the guys used to torture Mick. They hated Mick's playing. And when they were starting to work on Generation Swine before he was fired, he said they were torturing him still. And he said he knows the last 3 Motley releases, DJ Ashford played on 2, and the last one John 5 played on for the Dirt soundtrack.
Well, the story of John, you know, of the new guitar player, like, will be cool as we both discussed, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But he's beat up. The dude's like walking. He's like, you know, you're all doomed. I don't know, but you know, Corabi comes from like a different perspective because he's been in the circle at a certain time.
Yeah.
I don't know John that well because I haven't spoken to him in years, but that's an insider's point of view from his experience with them, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I would hope that they would go through with it because it'd be a great selection, and I would go see them, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just like you don't know what's hearsay and you don't know what's legit anymore. You know, fake news, right? It's like Motley Crue, Mick Mars resigns, John 5 plays guitar. Fake news. You know.
Well, John's totally in because the last 2 weeks he's been putting up every couple days videos of him sitting on his couch practicing Motley songs.
Okay.
And just today they announced, and this was something else a place you mentioned. They just announced 2 shows in February, I think it is, at the Hard Rock in Atlantic City. Motley Crue with John 5 and Def Leppard.
Yeah, man. Tickets, what, $500 for tickets, maybe?
Somewhere around there, yeah.
Something easy like that.
Yep.
We always have this discussion about how to keep rock and roll going. And the reason that it can go to the wayside is because the amount of money that it generates, it takes the soul out of it. You know, money always takes the soul out of anything.
Yeah.
I think Motley and their fans will stick together. I think Metallica is doing a great fucking thing, and Pantera, man. You know, man, can you imagine how the vibe of that is going to be when they hit the stage for the first time in an audience like that?
That's actually the same night you guys are playing. Their first show is December 3rd in Mexico. Oh, no Pantera.
Shit. You think anybody's going to come see us? You know, we were going to go see Metallica, but we can't even see you guys. So, okay, great. Thank you. I know what's real. I know what's real, what's not. We all look, Motley Crue is going to be fucking great with John 5. I think Mick Mars, he's pretty unhealthy from what I know. You know, as an outsider, I'm not there. I don't know him. Be like, hey man, you're okay. But if Nikki Sixx says John 5 is in the band, he's in the band.
Yeah.
I think Mick Mars has always been a kind of quiet dude when it comes to like publicity. So I don't think he would even say anything. I think somebody we like, we want to write this for you. Can we put this out? Yeah, whatever if you have to. That's the
Yeah.
vibe I get, but I don't know him,
Yeah.
so you know. We're talking about a band that I used to dig as a kid, and then with that history, man, going through all that shit, Tommy and Vince hating each other. It's a drag when you sing for a band and one of the band members does not relate to you in that way.
Mm.
What a drag politically that is as a band member, man. I just,
Can,
I just had a
I,
great week with my guys, and we all like, yeah, it was a love fest.
yeah, like could you even imagine like I mean now for years I've heard that like when they tour like they each have their own separate bus. They don't even get on a bus together anymore. It's very I know
Yeah,
part of it is because that they bring their families along now and all, but still it's just like it's
it,
it seems not personable at all.
yeah,
Very business-like.
that's right. And it's all that, it's like, well, I'm just gonna handle my own business. I'm not gonna talk to these guys all day. I'm gonna see them on stage and handle my business. Then I go
Hmm.
back on my own. That's, it's a drag that like it takes a lot. You have to have the same interests. You got to be like coolest people together. Not
Yeah.
everybody's on the same frequency all the time. Yes, there's different personalities in bands that people can go their separate ways, but at some point, you've got to bond and get together. That's why I enjoy
Hmm.
what we do now. But Motley Crue has their history, that band drama with each band member, and they're like at the end, we got to be together. If we stay together, we can make money, make a living.
Yeah.
I guess that must way above everything. So you stay together for that reason, but that's a cold reason, and it goes to show you. You watch the Metallica, some kind of monster video. Every band has some sort of politic,
Mm.
or some guy is just fucking, I'm pissed at you because you're an asshole to me, whatever. You don't treat me right. You don't talk to me right. Why don't we get along?
Right.
And everybody's willing to dig that deep, man. I'll tell you straight up, even with me and Rob, I've known Rob like 100 fucking years now. And me and Rob went through a lot of shit when we were younger. We were egotistical, cocky fucking kids, and you clash. Egos clash if they're
Yeah.
not mellowed out. If they're bright and shiny, they're gonna be like, oh, my light's brighter, you know. I just respect that dude so much. I mean, but some bands have a lot of miles too behind them, and it just can't be brotherly and forgiving.
Right.
Some people
Do
just
you
some people
guys
don't know how
like
to forgive and forget.
did you guys ever like have a just a sit down, just the two of yous and like air out everything and get that come together again like some kind of monster air your grievances and move forward
Yeah,
and work.
of course, it's like, why did we break up? Well, here's the reason. This is how I felt that day. This is my feelings, and
Mm.
we had to have those conversations to get to where we are today. Because now I just, I never considered myself, um, you know, the kind of guy that I always just thought I felt goofy. I was always happy, go lucky.
Right.
Don't take me too serious. Don't take myself serious. And Rob is a very serious cat, you
Mm.
know. And I think there was a time when I was just too silly, and he was like, "Man, dude, you got to buckle down and do this with me,"
Yeah.
And we've had these great conversations as men,
Yeah.
and men that still are very playful when it comes to playing music, because you're
Mm.
not, and that goes to playfulness. Okay, so let's talk about that. I wrote a post about that this week. If the recent guys or people in bands,
Mm.
people that love rock and roll and work in the business, usually are a little more youthful and healthy that way, is
Okay.
because you have to forget about all the heavyweight shit and be light to make people happy. If you go
Right.
on stage and you're really self-aware and you're like worrying about being perfect,
Mm.
you're not being honest with people, you're not being genuine. So there's a playfulness that you have about yourself.
Right.
You joke about things that most people don't understand. Some guys are very like, I know people that are our age and they just look like fucking, they're just gone.
Yeah.
They don't have any joy in their life anymore.
Mm.
And the thing that I'm noticing, the biggest thing for me is just going doing a gig, and even if it's just a few people, but they connect to you in the most amazing way.
Yeah.
And you can't you can't manufacture that shit. It just has to be really organic and real. So
Hmm.
yeah, me and Rob have had great talks. Every time me and Rob are in the same room, it's always some sort of like there's a lot of nostalgia. There's a lot of in the now, you know,
Sure.
because I just he's put a lot of work in, and I respect the work that he's put in, and Ricky, Ricky's great, man. Just a great dude. This band's been together longer now than it ever was in the past. So it's like someone said we're a better band now. As you get older, you appreciate it more. You
Yeah.
don't have an asshole attitude about it anymore because it's stupid to do that. You got to
Hmm.
care about people. You know, we don't do this because it's like, look at me, man, we're fucking cool. It's about like, are you good? What
Yeah.
can I do for you? Let's lock in. And it sounds corny, but it's true, man.
Yeah.
It's so true. So to cut back to it, Rob has learned a lot. I've learned a lot. Rick's learned a lot, and it's great. I can't even tell you, man. It's like how me and you talk. There's a civility to it. There's a gentlemanliness to it and respect to it, and that's how we are, and that's cool. So I hope that people understand that it's a real thing. We're
Right.
genuine. So when you tell me about Metallica doing their shit, and at the end of the day, James and Lars probably get into the room like, man, we're still doing this. This is great. I fucking love you,
Hmm.
Rob. Thanks. That's how I am with Rob. Because you can do this because you want to be in it, but you got to earn it. You got to earn the respect. But because we have fast, everything's fast nowadays. Social media, a lot of guys come
Hmm.
into this business and just want to go put their dick in everybody's face. It's my dick, man. What do you think? I'll pay you to look at it. No, man. People don't want to pay to see your fucking dick. You got to be real with people. I learned
Yeah.
the hard way. If you're not truthful, you'll get eaten up. If you're an asshole, we're gonna find out, and you won't be allowed into
Hmm.
the party. So I meet people. We had these great opening bands this weekend. Great guys, man. Nobody had an attitude. It wasn't like,
Nice.
it's ready. Who the fuck I think they are? The fucking piece, And it was just really cool, I'm learning just to be comfortable in my own skin with people, and I wish I was, comfortable in my own skin, at a Metallica gig, having my slot. But it is what it is. I love this thing. I sometimes I'll fall out of it. If I don't do music for a long time, I will get into a rut, and I'll be like this depressed fucker. And the way to cure me is just to get me around people and do a gig. And God, Metallica, Pantera, Taylor Swift, U2. After reading about him and reading interviews, and everybody loves what they do, man. Taylor Swift has to be like, just, I love my life. And she should, man. She shares her life with her fans. I'm not a Taylor Swift person, but I understand Taylor Swift and what she does.
Right.
Give me a Taylor Swift song, and I'd say, I still think Halo is cool. I can't even name a Taylor Swift song.
Shake it
Point
off.
is, there you go. Exactly. The point is, she's the biggest pop star on the planet right now, and she's proving it. And she
She
didn't
is.
have to prove it because she has nothing to prove. She's Taylor Swift.
Right.
But if someone's going to be like, "Fucking Taylor Swift," that's the world we live in. I'm rambling. Go ahead.
No, it's just it's crazy because she really. I mean, she is totally like the pinnacle. I think of the whole music business right now, without a doubt.
Because what did we say? The business has changed,
Hmm.
right? Taylor Swift connects with her fans. They connect with her, and that's something nobody can touch.
Yeah.
So if you're on the outside of it, you won't understand it. You have to be in that world with her to understand it, right? If you're not a Motley Crue fan, you have to be in the Motley Crue world to
Yeah.
understand it. You're going to be on the outside just hating on it and talking shit, while the rest of us are out here, they're having a great time,
Right.
you know.
So, last news story to wrap up this episode. Mr. Big Any you friends with any of
Great
those guys?
singer, man. Literally, that's his last name, right? But
Eric Martin.
Eric Martin.
Eric
Wow,
Martin.
man, what a great voice, man. And he still sounds like that,
Yeah.
you
Yeah, he
know.
does.
I thought back, my ex thought he was really cute. That's what I remember about Mr. Big. He's really cute. Was it? I'm the one who wants to be with you. Oh man,
Yeah.
what a
Yeah.
great! It's great chops on that dude. He's one of the better voices on the planet. Which
Well,
brings me
they
to something really quick. I want you to know something.
go ahead. Go ahead.
I had somebody ask me, "You gonna do Broken City tonight, right?" And usually, that song it's when I did that first album, I put everything, all the energy in the world into it. So I've been really working hard on like, getting my points in the songs and making it still sound cool, still making it. I'm trying. I like to retool things.
Okay.
I'm like, well, we did it that way. Now let's do it this way. Let's do it in a more evolved way. And I really work hard. Sometimes I get these moments where I find myself, and I'll be like that the old Ray from back in the day, and I can hit certain notes, and it blew my mind. But that only happens when I rehearse every day and pocket it. Like I'm the kind of dude that like we just went through this weekend. Me and Rob were talking about it. When you're gonna do a show, I can't warm up like in the middle of the day and
Yeah.
then wait, and then it's just I need to be like in touch with this
Mm-hmm.
real close to stage time, and then I carry that momentum over. And it's like it was
Sure.
a cool thing that I got to do that. But Eric Singer, what I'm trying to say is he's got the kind of voice that he sounds like he's warmed up all the time, man. His tonality, his tone is just great. But you were gonna say something, Mr. Big.
Oh, so Mr. Big, their drummer Pat Torpey passed away a few years ago from Parkinson's disease, and at the time they said that's it, they're done, but they announced today they're decided it's time to bring the band back, and they're going to have drummer Matt Starr filling in the drum role, and they're going to do a tour.
Everybody that had a band wants to play. They all miss it. They can say they fucking, oh man, I don't want to do that shit anymore. Right? I've learned that you got to just enjoy it, man. Some guys, there's two kinds of guys. There's people that can go on a stage and enjoy themselves. And there's the other guys that act like they don't want to be on stage, but they really do,
Mm-hmm.
Everybody wants to be on stage. Everybody wants to be close to it, be a part of it. We grew up on it. We're all getting older, and the thing that we do, we want it to carry on. And that's what's missing. I haven't seen a lot of, I'm seeing a lot of younger bands, but they're all tuning down and doing that thing. And I don't care if they tune down. Honestly, I don't care if they play tracks, as long as they're doing it and carrying on the tradition of a live rock band. And you see Rival Sons, that's an organic live rock band. Dirty Honey. I'm learning to appreciate those bands. Because for so long I stepped away from like hard rock and was trying to go more modern. But I'm just like, I believe I'm allowed to do that. As a singer, you're allowed to evolve. Like, you look at someone like David Bowie, the quintessential rock and roll artist. He got to become different people through the years. And I always wanted that. I always, you could change.
That was a lot of evolving there.
Yeah, and you should be able to change your voice. As your voice changes, you want to fuck with it and experiment with it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to be having to do the same thing over and over again. You guys, man, why isn't that record like the last one? Because we did the last one. It's done.
Yeah.
We want to do something else. Which is another thing I experienced this weekend too, was people dug the new songs.
Mm.
So you getting bored? People dig the new songs, and I loved doing them. So it made me feel great. So I know there's potential with this shit. I know that we're having fun again, and we're enjoying it. That's what matters.
That's awesome. That's a beautiful thing, man.
Metallica's having their good time. You make music because you have to. The times that I tried to not be that guy, like, oh man, I'm over rock and roll. I'm going to do something else. Put me back in. It's the mob, man. Rob is my My consigliere, bro. Yeah, I love this fucking. I realized how much I loved it. I missed it so much, and that's why guys get miserable. That's why they fucking drink all day and drug all day because they. But the only way to make it work, you can't be a part-time hobbyist. If you're in a band, you're thinking about doing it all the time. Yes, you can have your daytime gig, but when you're done, you want to get to rehearsal and go play. It shouldn't be like, oh, I got to go to rehearsal. No, man. The real, you really want to say, I'm gonna go see the guys, man. I'm gonna go talk shit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna regress to my fucking teens and get to talk shit for a little while, have fun. It's all about that. I'm rekindling my love for it. We've been through these talks, you and I. I went through this whole summer of crisis of confidence, where I was like, man, I'm not good at this anymore. What am I doing? Because I didn't work at it.
Mm.
So now that I'm working at finding my most best self right now, vocally, and the challenge of it is what gets me, because I love a good challenge. That wakes me up. That gets me off my ass, because I'm a lazy motherfucker. But if someone says, oh, man, Ray doesn't have it anymore, I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Now you triggered something, But I went to, ever since 2020, it's just been this downward spiral of shit. And I've had to climb my way out of it.
Well, I mean, now, too, with you guys doing all these shows coming up and really doing this thing now, really trying to take it to the next level. I mean, it puts you back in the game. I mean, we talked about this a few episodes ago. I mean, this is the most shows you guys have done in forever,
Yeah,
so this really puts you back in the driver's seat again, like you haven't been in many, probably decades.
Because we're putting in the work,
Mm-hmm.
we're putting in the work because Rob has Rob, somewhere in Rob's mind, I'm not Rob, but I know that Rob wants to make his own statement with his own band.
I want to interview Rob.
Yeah, we'll get him. He's great. He's a good guy for you to talk to. And Rob is honest, very congenial, unless you piss him off. And he's a fucking tyrant. No, I love the boy. But we're working hard because Rob, I think he realizes too that he's like, I was in this part of my idea is this band Spread Eagle.
Mm-hmm.
So why don't I, really make it shine?
Yeah.
And he's the one that's done a lot of legwork more than all of us. So
Mm-hmm.
he has the a good perspective on things. If we couldn't do it, he wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
If it was an undoable thing, he wouldn't. Because he's really logical. He's a very logical thinker, and he weighs everything, and we take the best option. We all do that. But you got to work at it, man. And I was just not working at it. I thought it was just, I got this natural gift thing. People tell me, so I'll just do it like that. I won't work at it because I don't have to.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But I know that I love doing this. I know that I really want to do it now, to the best of my ability for the next as many years as I can. So they fucking drop, It's like what happened to Ray. Oh, last night he was on stage. He killed over. Had the biggest smile on his face. He should have. He was smiling. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's a good time. If you work hard at it, it's worth it. Is it worth for me going and climbing on a plane? And Spread, we have the luxury of not having to pay to play anywhere, which is cool, but you got to work hard because of it. Well, why should we book Spread Eagle when I can have them open up for this band, this and that? Why should they headline?
Yeah.
And you got to want to bring it, man. You got to wake up with this energy, and you got to know that you have something to give to people. And it always sounds corny when I say it, but I don't care. I love doing it, man. And I have to relearn. I feel like I'm relearning the craft. Does that make sense? So I'm relearning the craft.
Yeah, totally.
Now, and we're making, because we'd like to be like doing as many shows as we can for the year, so that we don't got to do other shit to make ends meet. We're like, I got so many hustles going, and it's like, I love teaching voice, but I want to be the guy that's actually singing.
Yeah.
You're not just teaching some shit. Those who can do, those who don't, they teach.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, with the whole, thing with the opportunity of Spread Eagle, you have that. You really got to look at it. It's a gift. You guys made a name for yourselves back in the early 90s, and now 30 years later you still have that gift where you can still do what you love with the
Right.
band you love and the music that you love that you made, and help
Yeah,
make
man.
ends meet from it.
You're doing the thing. I'm not trying to, and this is really important. And if my buddy is watching this, who knows, I'm going to say this to you. We're not doing this because we're reliving our glory days.
Mm,
We're doing it because we have to do this. I have to do this because
yeah.
I need it, not because I'm trying to be Ray from back in the day. I can't do
Mhm.
that. I'm the best Ray I can be right now. So that's what you
Right.
get. And I'm working hard so that when people come to see us, it's like, well, wow, Ray is putting out. You know what I mean? He's
Mhm.
putting out. It's great. They're all putting out. The
Yeah.
songs are great. The set feels good. It's been worked on. It's not just some shit where guys are just throwing songs together. It's a show.
Mhm.
Why should people come see Spread Eagle? Right? It's like it's the music, but it's a vibe. It's a show. It's what happens around the songs. We use the songs to communicate, but it's what happens within the songs, around the songs, in the room. It's
Nice.
everything. Whether it's tragedy, comedy, it all takes place. And
Mhm.
that's something you got to work at. It's a craft, man. But for years, I didn't think I needed to work at it. So here I am, and that's that.
There you go. And on that note, another episode is in the books, Ray. Always a pleasure.
It is, right? It's
Uh,
just fun. We get rap, and uh, we need to do an episode where we're both in the same room, though.
oh, hell yeah.
Because,
Yeah.
I can't just be going through the screen.
Yeah, right.
But it's important that we have our opinions heard. There are a zillion opinions in the world, but why should people listen to ours? Because we really mean it, brother.
Mhm.
That's the truth.
And it's
Love you, man.
love you. It's the Ray Bebe show, and we have a lot of fun doing this. We have a lot of fun throughout the week talking about the show and a lot of things. We're just having
Yeah,
a
we
ball.
didn't have
Bottom
nobody
line.
had no questions today. So subscribe, Instagram. If you've seen us and you want to talk about something, we'll bring you on. You know what I mean? Let's
Absolutely.
fire into questions, and if you got a topic that you think we should be doing, let us know. If you got questions, we'll do our best to answer your questions. If we don't, we won't.
But 10-1 we will.
That's
So
right.
yeah, shoot us some questions, leave us some comments, make sure you subscribe to the channel down below, and I don't know, will we see you next week? Because I know you got some shit. You'll be in New York.
Yeah, yeah. I'll do this. I'll do my show from New York. Yeah, yeah. It'll be
Okay,
fine.
cool. All right, cool. So
Get
we'll
to go
be
into
back
cold
next week,
weather.
everybody.
Yay! All right, guys. Bye.
Peace.
From Ray and Bay. Love you guys, man.
Love y'all.
Get
See ya.
wild.